In our first story, the former president, John Dramani Mahama, says the current socio-economic and political landscape of Ghana form part of the reasons for his decision to contest the NDC flagbearership slot. The former president on Thursday presented a letter to the party to indicate his intention to lead the NDC as the flagbearer into the 2020 polls. And he's likely to contest alongside Joshua Alabi Sylvester Mensah, among others, who already have presented similar letters to the party indicating their intent to contest. The former president did not turn up at the party headquarters to officially inform the NDC. He, however, delegated a team led by Ghana's former ambassador to the United States, Daniel Ohene Ejekum. My colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, has the rest of the story.
The country thronged the national headquarters of the National Democratic Congress at Adaraka to show support to the candidature of former President John Dramani Mahama. Daniel Ohene Ejekum led a team of delegates to submit the letter of intent to the party leadership. Leader of the delegation, Daniel Ohene Ejekum, says former President John Mahama has learnt the lessons of the past.
We will constantly bear in mind those lessons, not only during the campaign for flagbearer of our great NDC, but also in the 2020 election campaign, and very hopefully in the government we shall form in January 2021.
The General Secretary for the party, Johnson Asede Nkata, was present to receive the letter. He seized the opportunity to remind the candidate to be civil during their campaign.
We have already quoted our constitution to remind all the contestants about the need to be decorous in your pronouncements when you are on the campaign trail. And we have also pointed at the various sections of the constitution that deal with our disciplinary code. And if the history of some of us is anything to guide you, we intend to hold your feet onto fire.
Former Deputy Education Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Blakwa believes Mr. Mahama is the best candidate to recapture power for the NDC.
Why do you want to experiment? Why do you want to risk an entirely new candidate who you are not sure of the prospects? So today is an exciting moment for us. We are very excited, we are ecstatic, and we pledge to support the candidature of President Mahama. You can be rest assured that we are going to do all we can do as members of parliament to bring along our constituents and to deliver victory.
Kofi Adams, the national organizer of the NDC, believes the reputation of Mr. Mahama is intact.
See, Mahama's market is out there. It's like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but
I'm saying that it's like Coca-Cola. All other category of drinks have come. They have done all kinds of adverts to undermine Coca-Cola, but it continues to be a great brand. So you can do as much as you want to do, but Mahama will remain Mahama. His strength, his everything is out there. It's so clear. It's vividly written. It's there. You will attempt. If you don't take care of it, you will get damaged. It's like hitting your hand against a rock, thinking that you want to break the rock. You will injure your hand, and you will have sore fingers and not the stone that you are hitting.
For JoyNews, I'm Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Well, we'll do some discussions on this, and Mama Bioso Abwaje will be hosting our guest this morning. Now, a few farms along the Volta basin in the Upper East region are currently submerged in flood waters, and this is due to a high rate of rainfall this year. Now, following the announcement by the Burkina Faso Power Authority, Sonabel, that they won't spill excess water from the Bagre Dam beginning yesterday, farmers at Poalogo are worried they could completely lose their farms. Well, JoyNews Upper East regional correspondent Albert Sorry spoke to some farmers and now reports.
So I'm here on the banks of the White Volta Lake, and this is the Palugu community. Now, on each side of the lake, you have farms. The whole of this place, you have people's farms there, and also on the other side, you have many of the farmers who live in this area plying their trade. And we're told that the Burkinabe authorities have started spilling water from the Bagre Dam. Now, every year this happens, and what they're telling me is that every time the water is spilled from their farms, which are at least 200, 300 meters away from the lake, even get flooded, because where I'm standing will be full of water eventually when the volumes of water coming from the Bagre Dam are very high.
Those who farm along the White Volta, every year will farm, water will take it. Every year will farm, water will take it. People are saying that the farmers should vacate. If farmers are going to vacate, where are we going to get a land and farm? And especially when you go to the uplands and you don't have money, you can't access to money to buy fertilizer. So it's a worry. And more to the point, instead of our leaders should go to Burkina Faso and see the way they are also open their water. Because if they are going to open the water, I think a water have a meter ban. Maybe if it is 100, then you see that their dam is overflowing. They should advise the Burkina Faso people to regulate the water, maybe 10% and leave 90%. 3 weeks time, they'll open another 10%. That one, it won't affect the farmers. But Massa, in fact, what our leaders are doing to us is very bad. Especially, I don't know what our MPs are doing from Upper East, Northern region. Because this White Volta started affecting people from Zabila up to this side, going to overseas. All the northern regions, part of Volta region, it will affect. What our MPs are doing, they should go to Burkina.
And we hear news that they are going to open the Burkina Bagre Dam. And then I was here to, the place that we are farming, the thing will affect us. So we need the government to help us, because every year we didn't have money to buy fertilizer. See, this is my corn. I didn't put fertilizer inside, but I have a corn. But if this water comes and then destroy it, I won't get the food. So I'm appealing that the government should help. It should let the minister and the MPs to go there and then consult with them. And then let them help us. Because if the water is going to 8 or 100, they should be opening it 10-10 so that we'll get the food.
We have no option than to farm here. We have no other place than here. And without farming too, we can't survive. Without farming too, we can't survive. There's no other place. There is no other place apart from this place.
To all this problem?
The solution is concerning about the water, the Bagre Dam. They have to reduce it small. At least if the level is up to 100, at least they should open it 10% for us so that we can manage. Because sometimes, as of now, we are suffering now. Getting to dry season, they will be having some tomatoes, onions, they're enjoying, and we are suffering now. And this is the time for us to enjoy. As of now, they spoil this one. So how are we going to do? That we normally spend just by hardly, without gaining any profit.
They are hoping that the situation will be different this year. But it's been raining here seriously, and you know, working here today, I had to get beaten by the rain, so I'm even drenched because of that. So if the spilling continues for the rest of the coming days, the likelihood that the water will overflow and onto people's farms is very high. My name is Albert Sorry for JoyNews.
The Minister for Inner Cities and Zongo Development, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, says the availability and access to quality education in Zongo communities in Ghana is top on his agenda. According to Dr. Hamid, the lack of quality education facilities in Zongo communities has contributed to the negative public perception of youth in such areas. Hence, his resolve to roll out mentorship programs to improve the situation. There's more in the following report.
Addressing the media after a familiarization tour to inspect the Medina AstroTurf project started by former Minister Alhaji Sadiq Boniface in Medina, Dr. Mustafa Hamid said plans are far advanced to include libraries and other educational facilities to the turfs that are being constructed for youth in Zongo communities across the country.
My vision moving forward, to add to what my brother Boniface has already done, will be also to attach libraries and reading places to these AstroTurf centers. And so, allied to that, we are going to do a mentorship program in inner cities and Zongo communities that allows us to attach young people, upcoming youth in our Zongos to accomplished people, coming from inner cities, and to mentor them.
Touching on issues of financial management at the ministry, Dr. Hamid disclosed that a board had been inaugurated to manage the much talked about Zongo Fund.
There are a series of steps that you need to take the board members and the processes for them to become fully functional. For example, we have to do training for the board members in the Public Financial and Management Act. We need to do training for them in corporate governance. All of those things that will imbue them with the right qualities to be able to administer the fund according to law. By the close of September, I believe that they will be ready to begin the processes of administering the fund.
After conducting the minister around the AstroTurf, the contractors, Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited, said it is optimistic it will soon complete and hand over the project to government for use.
What you have seen here, we are also doing the same for Wali Wali and Chebi. So I believe strongly that in the next 2 or 3 months, we should be able to finish this facility and hand it over to government. Like the minister indicated, this facility or this edifice is not only for football, but we can have marriages on it, funerals can be done, crusade. The Christians can also come here and have their crusades and all that.
Government is hopeful the Zongo and inner city projects will provide a safe haven for children and youth in such areas and shield them from the numerous social vices associated with lack of education and mentorship. Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited hopes to replicate the Medina AstroTurf in all 270 constituencies across the country under the One Constituency, One Artificial Football Turf initiative. Charity Emihil Batel's report for JoyNews.
Well, good one there by the Wembley Sports Complex. Now, government says it is setting up a cyber security secretariat as part of measures to deal with persistent cyber attacks on state institutions. Well, the Deputy Minister of Communications, Vincent Soa Odote, who revealed this, said government is currently implementing the National Cyber Security Policy document, which charts the roadmap for addressing cybercrime in Ghana. You will recall there have been a number of government institutions that have been subjected to cyber attacks. The minister says Cybersecurity Secretariat will ultimately liaise with all the computer emergency response teams.
As part of our digital journey and build a digital economy, it's important that we strengthen our resilience. It's important that we make Ghana a safe destination in terms of our participation in the digital world. Yes, as a government, I'm sure before you do anything, you need a strategy. You need a document that will direct your plans, that will ensure that you know that the agenda you are taking is, and this government has taken that path with the promulgation and the rollout of National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy document. It's already in place, which deals with every aspect of our digital safety on this ecosystem. We have instituted the National Cybersecurity Week as an annual event to ensure that the main thing is to create awareness and to ensure that people are aware that the threat and the benefits that they enjoy from the cyberspace, that the threats out there, and also to engage with stakeholders, to engage with practitioners about trending and new ways and new solutions like today. So the National Cybersecurity Strategy and Policy, the document, actually sets the path, sets the components and direct government's efforts of making sure that me and you, as we reap the dividends of the technology or the digital dividends, we are also aware of the threats that we face. The National Cyber Security Secretary is part of the key pillars of our policy and strategy. We have established a National Cyber Security Secretary at the Ministry of Communication, which will be inaugurated pretty shortly and pretty soon. In that, we have also appointed for the first time in the history of the country a National Cyber Security Advisor. And then also, as part of National Cyber Security Strategy, we have what we call the institutional governance structure headed by His Excellency, the President. And below that, we have what we call the CERT, the Computer Emergency Response Team. This is a team or a body which guides, advises, and also responds in case of cyber, in case this our digital system is hacked or is attacked. And we have one with the National CERT at the Ministry of Communication. We have the telecommunication CERT at the NCA, and we have the financial CERT at the Bank of Ghana, which deals with their computer response teams. In case we are attacked, they'll quickly come out to tell us what to do.
Meanwhile, the Managing Director of Spearhead, an IT security solutions provider, NS Documenta, believes there's a need for urgent action to check issues of cybercrime as it has implications on Ghana.
We've seen ministers' account being compromised. I think recently we heard the former president saying that he's seen counterfeit accounts on social media. And we also did quite a number of work. What we did was to use our intelligence. We saw, a lot of compromised attacks. We also saw account impersonations. What we did was to look at the key people in this country. Looking at the key people tells us that, look, there is business for us to do. So based on what he has shared, if they're able to do this, it's going to really, really help all of us. Why am I saying that? I mean, in the past, we've been fighting for these things to come to pass. Let there be some rules of engagement. Let's make sure the cybersecurity professionals come together to make sure that this is done. But what they're saying, I believe and respect that statement that he made. I believe that this is going to come through and it's really going to help the country. I believe so. I think that what we need to build going forward is the iceberg principle. The iceberg principle has to do with 10% of the ice at the surface and 90% down there. So if the policies come in with that strength, that capacity down there, I believe that will be more resilient in the market as a nation. I mean, we don't care about data like what you saw. People send anything anyway, anyhow. We don't care about any security, physical security. We don't care about it. Just imagine if I have to put USB sticks all over. Let's see if I can do similar here. Nice USB drives, leave it there. People will pick it and still go and slot it into their machine. If I have more wear on that device, just imagine what happens to the company. So currently, there are a number of information awareness going on, helping companies to now track their employees to make sure that at least they understand some of these issues so that they don't put their companies into trouble.
And that's it for news, but look, we have more news. So we're reviewing the newspapers. We'll look at myjournline.com and the BBC, possibly, the Africa page. And then we'll look at some news that are gaining a lot of prominence across the world. But as we do so, please also know that we want more of your comments. Mama Vioso Abwaje will be hosting the Member of Parliament for the Ododo constituency, Neinlante van der Poy, and the Deputy Minister of Information, Pius Enam Hajida. We're discussing many issues, but would have brought you the latest sports highlight as well. Benedict will be here with the latest. Please stay with us. We have a great package for you this morning. We're happy that you're joining us for the show, the AM show right here on the channel. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll do reviews of the newspapers. Stay with us.